Let's make grape nuts organic. What do you think happened? Everybody started eating grape nuts. This just sucks. It's terrible. I don't even eat cereal, but I wouldn't eat that if I did. Guarantee you. And it went up, and everyone started buying grape nuts. Then you knew that they do it with Cheerios now. They do it with everything. I was watching The Bachelorette last night. So you guys, I'm just going to be honest with you. You can, like, I'm human. All right, I'm laying on the couch. It's like I don't have cable or anything, so on Mondays sometimes I'll just lay down and be like, I can't believe I actually sit down and watch this pathetic show. It's entertaining because it's so pathetic. I just can't get over it. So yeah, Alyssa knows it's my guilty pleasure. So guess what? Comes a commercial on. Nabisco is now selling non-GMO Triscuits.
Yes, I've seen that today.
And the reason that they're advertising on that show, because who watches that show? What?
You.
I mean, yeah, but who watches that show? Like, what type of kids? Like, old guys, old women, young. Who watches it? What's the demo graphic? Younger women and me. Young women and me. We want organic food. So I'm telling you, it's tipping. It's going to tip. It already has tipped. We want it because they're giving it to us. Because they know that you're not going to buy the other stuff. Costco's the biggest supplier of organic food in the country right now. Walmart's number 2. Why? Because just if you don't shop at Walmart, you're lying. Everyone goes there for something eventually. Have you never been to Walmart? Okay, everyone has been there, right? I tried it. We were just talking today. We try to avoid it like the plague. But, not that long ago, I needed wiper fluid, and I was over on that side. I went in there, and I bought wiper fluid there. It's just, they're the number 2 producer of organic food. Okay? So, and who shops at Walmart? High income or lower income? Generally speaking, lower income buys their, just general. Like, it is what it is. Generally, it's the lower income people who shop at Walmart. They want organic food. It doesn't matter how much money you make. You want it because you know that it's better. It's just innately you know that it's better. So that's my soapbox for organic food. You just have to stay away from this garbage. That's the Roundup case that's happening. It's right now. I mean, July 9th. My friend.
Yesterday.
Yeah, it was yesterday. I didn't know what the date was. That's why I kept saying July 9th. My friend Jeffrey Jackson just sent me this yesterday. Okay, and if you want to know about vaccines, you got to follow Jeffrey Jackson on Facebook. He's like the master of it. So this is Hippocrates, right? He says, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. We have to think like this today. This is how he was helping people get healthy thousands of years ago, and we have to still be getting healthy like this today. Because we're not healthier now than we were then. We just live longer lives, but we don't necessarily live quality lives today. I mean, we have a lot going on. If you want to manage your health, you have to manage your insulin. Right, Jen? You got to manage your insulin. This is a key. This is a secret. I mean, more people are going to know this. You have to manage your insulin. Right, and that's directly related to your sugar levels. So when you eat more sugar, your insulin spikes because the insulin is the school bus that picks up the sugar and delivers it to the cell. So if you want to live longer and you want to live healthier, you have to learn how to manage your insulin. People with type 2 diabetes have a major problem because they don't have enough insulin available to transport all the sugar to the cells, and they become overweight. If you have type 1 diabetes, you weren't born with enough of these insulin producing factories. That's a whole nother problem. But if you want to live longer, you have to control your insulin. Do you guys know why people who have type 2 diabetes and type 1, if they don't take insulin, why they get sometimes leg amputations and why they lose their eyesight? Do you guys know why? You guys know that does happen? Yeah. The reason is because all that sugar in the system that's not getting transported to the cell to get used becomes toxic to nerve tissue. And it actually starts to break down, and maybe you might say like disintegrate nerve tissue. That's what sugar does to nerve tissue in the body. Okay, it's not like some science. Okay, the more of it you consume, the harder it is on your body, and the faster it breaks you down, and it kind of kills you. Okay, and you must learn to detox if you're going to stay healthy in this sick world. Okay, I don't care if you do my detox. This is my detox. I think it's the best. That's why I tell people about it. I don't care if you do mine. I don't care if you do your own. I don't care if you have a whole program. But everyone has to have a detox program if you're going to be healthy. Like you sit down with your kids and you say, okay, if there's a fire in the house, we meet here. Do you guys do this with your kids? You don't have any kids. Did your parents do this with you? No. You have a game plan. If there's a fire in the house, we don't take stuff with us. Mommy and Daddy come and get you, and if you're not with Mommy and Daddy, we meet at the tree. You guys know what I'm talking about? Game plan. Okay? So every family needs to have a game plan of how to eliminate this stuff. Okay? Because it is making us sick. And we know that the toxicity levels of my generation, our generation, is the tipping point that's really knocking us down. We know that this is a negative tipping point. We know that this generation, so my generation and my daughter's generation, is the first time since we've been monitoring, health of our population, the first time where our kids will not outlive us. This is my understanding of what I've been learning and reading. So my daughter is technically not supposed to live longer than me, and your daughter is not supposed to live longer than you. That's absolutely crazy because of all the childhood diseases. Okay? So we have to have game plans for our family. We have to teach our kids how to do daily detoxing, weekly detoxing, monthly detoxing, and yearly detoxing. Some people do it with the seasons. Some people do intermittent fasting. We have to teach our kids how to do this. I can tell when a kid comes in here and has had a whole bunch of bad food, and you can too. Right? These little girls, they're like perfect. They're like some of my favorite patients, and they eat really healthy, and their mom does all this amazing stuff, and mom looked at me and goes, I got into some sugar today. I'm like, yeah, I know. Right? And they're all going to do it. I'm just telling you, have a plan for your family, have a plan for yourself, have a plan for everyone that you know, and just teach them. We got to get this stuff out because the glass is filling, and the glass is filling, and the glass is filling, and eventually it might be the sugar that overflows the glass. It might be the subluxations that overflows the glass. It might be the mercury fillings that overflows the glass, but it's going to be something that will overflow the glass if we're not eliminating it. Okay? And this is the developer of chiropractic. This is how they used to learn how to do adjustments. Isn't that kind of cool? I'll give you a little history lesson. We got like 2 minutes left. So this is B.J. Palmer. He's the developer of chiropractic. This picture was probably taken around like 1910. And there he is. At the time, Palmer College of Chiropractic had the largest osteological library in the world. It's in Davenport, Iowa, where I got my degree from. So they had more human bones than any other place in the world. These chiropractors were nuts. They wanted to be the best. They wanted to prove to the world that they were real doctors. They wanted to prove to the world that they knew more about the nervous system and the spine and the function of the body than any other doctor on planet Earth. They were relentless with their mission to get to the bottom of what was...
How'd they get all those bones?
At the time, it was illegal to have human remains. So they traveled all over the world and they built a library. So it wasn't like until I think the 50s in some states where you couldn't even have human bones. But this guy right here, B.J. Palmer, he traveled all over the world by ship. He wrote books on healing. I mean, he's written over 50 books.
Did he collect bones from different tribes?
His library is extensive. The stuff that we got to play with will just blow your mind. Okay, so this is him. Of course, it's kind of cool, right? He's got this spine set up there. He's got all of these vectors and angles that he's making a perfect correction to show, his art. Isn't it pretty cool? And here's what most people just absolutely can't grab a hold of, and you guys are going to grab a hold of it perfectly. You can't be healthy. You can't stay healthy in this world if you don't have a healthy functioning nervous system. It's impossible. And I can say that with 100% confidence because that's how the body works. Most people don't have any concept of what it means to care for your spine. And most people don't have any concept of what it means to protect the communication highway of your body. Okay? I have patients who come to me who we start off great and then they disappear. And I just want to know, hey, is everything cool? What happened? Oh, doctor told me no chiropractic. Okay, cool. Interesting. Other doctors, this happens all of the time is what I'm trying to get you to understand. Or I have some kids that I'm working with and insane results on children. Okay, life-changing results on these children. Hey, everything going okay? What's going on? You missed an appointment. Oh, pediatrician said no chiropractic. Interesting. Okay, people don't know about it, but the doctors don't know about it either, and it's just not okay. It's just not okay because everything that we do here is safe, 100% safe. It's been practiced for 125 years. It's safe. It's the safest form of healthcare you can do. It's safer than any pill, medicine, drug, or surgery you could ever put into your body, and yet millions of people do that every single day. It's safe. And I just want to show you, this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. This is an x-ray of someone who came into the office, and I take responsibility when people don't get the message. I'm hard on myself. I take responsibility for people not getting it. And you guys are my patients. You guys know that that's a picture of the neck, and that right there is an area that had a disc bulge that is healed, but those bones are now in an arthritic state. They're breaking down, they're degenerating. Okay, this is a real picture of a patient who came into my office, and she had really bad thyroid problems. And I said, let's see what your nervous system and your brain are talking to your thyroid about. Is there blockages there? Is that an open pathway? Is there just, let me just give you a different assessment. Cool. Doc, I don't have neck pain. I have a thyroid problem. I said, I totally get it. I understand. Hear me out. Let's see what the highway is talking to your thyroid about. And this is not something that happened overnight, which brings up my conversation. We're dealing with chronic problems in this office. We're not dealing with acute problems. Okay? Even the young athlete that shows up here and says, Doc, I hurt my back on my 10-mile run yesterday. I say, when did it start? Yesterday. Do you have any other history of a back pain? No, it started yesterday. Cool. I take the x-rays. They have degeneration in their low back. This is a chronic problem that I'm dealing with. This is not something that came up yesterday. And that's why this is not something that is just going to get fixed overnight. But the name of the game is we got to have these relationships with one another, and we got to have these sit-down conversations. That's why I value you guys for coming here. We got to have these conversations where we look at this stuff and we say, that's not a quick fix. That didn't happen overnight, and I don't care what you take for that thyroid. It ain't going to work. And that adjustment's not going to just free up that nerve overnight. Right? That's why we have our breakthroughs sometimes after years, because this is a chronic issue that has probably, in my best guess, been going on for 10 years. And sometimes people look at me with like 6 eyes and they go, what? I say, I know. I'm telling you something you don't know before, but it's the truth. And you guys know my favorite line is, a truth is a truth 100% of the time. That ain't going to go away. And that's called a subluxation that was not corrected 10 years ago, and now we're dealing with an acute symptom of a chronic problem. Right? And you don't have to get adjusted for the rest of your life. But when you understand and you know how to look at your x-rays and you can see that the nervous system and the spinal cord lives in those bones, and when those bones aren't in the right position because of 8 hours a day, 5 days a week of working in a position that's straining your system, and then 3 car accidents, you look at that and you know, now my brain needs to send information down there and out that nerve and out that hold that organ, keep the organ safe. You look at that and you go, dang, how did I not know about chiropractic? And dang, how does everyone in town not know about chiropractic? And why does everyone think chiropractic's this weird thing? Are you guys even doctors? I mean, will you go to a chiropractor? Like, ugh, what? Okay, it has to stop. It has to change. And that's why we built this new clinic, because people need to come in here. They need to see their digital x-rays. They need to see them on a flat screen TV, this big, not this big. And they need to look at it, and they need to see that nerve goes there, and that's where my problems are. And it's not okay for me to live my life like this. I have to stop this problem. That's not okay. That's why we had to build this bigger clinic. More people need to know the story. You know where I'm going? You know where I'm going? I had a painter come in the other day, Justin, and he's 60 years old. He's been a painter for 30 years. Not a patient of mine. I was filling in for him. I said, dude, you've been painting for 30 years? I'm not making this up. I said, how, right, D? D was listening. I thought, oh my gosh, you're in great shape. How are you still out there doing it, man? He goes, I've been getting adjusted for 50 years, doc. I said, holy cow! You've been getting adjusted for 50 years? He goes, I've been getting adjusted for 50 years. Sometimes it's once a week. Sometimes it's twice a week. Sometimes it's twice a month. He said, I always am getting adjusted. He goes, I hire people that are 30 years old, and they can't do what I do because they're in pain. He goes, people don't know about chiropractic. I'm just happy that I have you here to fill in for my doc when he's out of town. I'm like, cool, let's get her done. That's the conversation that I love to have with people. All right? So the take-home message is the stomach, the brain, the toxins, the adjustments. It's slinging the rock. It's slinging the rock. It's slinging the rock. It's not the miracle throw that took down the giant. It's not the one lucky shot that, Michael Jordan fadeaway, game 5, sinks it at the buzzer. I said, how many times have you done that? He goes, I can't even count. I've done that so many times. That needs to be us with our health. Right? It's not one bottle of the oils. It's every day. It's getting those oils. It's getting my adjustments. It's every day. Cool? And you teach your kids this, and they're like little ninjas when they get older. And they're like, who's going to run this country? I guess I'm going to have to step up and run it because nobody else is able to. You know where I'm going? Cool. We got to have our young kids be lawyers and doctors and save the planet, not be so sick that they can't get out and do gym class. Let's just burn them all.
That's right. Especially for the kids because they don't want to get outside.
Instead of